Hello everyone, good morning my students. Our lesson for today is Unit 20 for Grade 4. Firstly, I'm going to talk about when and how to use some and any. But before I start explaining my lesson, there are some things you need to understand. What are these words? Salt, water, lemons, sandwiches. These words are nouns, and there are two types of nouns, countable nouns and uncountable nouns. What are the differences between them? Countable nouns, nouns that we can count them and we can put numbers before them, and they have singular and plural forms. For example, lemons, sandwiches. So look here, we can count the lemons: 1 lemon, 2 lemons, 3 lemons, 4 lemons, etc. Sandwiches also we can count them: 1 sandwich, 2 sandwiches, 3 sandwiches, etc. We add s at the end of the word to make them a plural. Uncountable nouns, we can't count them. We cannot put numbers before them, and they have only singular forms. For example, water, we cannot make it plural. Salt, we cannot count the salt. It's singular. Okay, as you see, countable nouns, for example, sandwiches ends with the letter S. Lemons, also, it ends with the letter S. Uncountable, salt, water, we cannot count them. Now we are going to move to talk about some and any. Some and any mean a non-specific quantity. When and how to use some and any? We can use some and any with countable nouns and uncountable nouns. For example, some apples, any onions, some carrots, some water, any garlic, and some cheese. As you see, my students, some apples, any onions, some carrots. The words apples, onions, and carrots are countable nouns. Some water, any garlic, some cheese. These words, water, garlic, cheese, are uncountable nouns. So we can use some and any with countable nouns in plural and uncountable nouns. What about some? When do we use some? Actually, we use some for positive sentences. Look at the examples. I have got some lemons. He has got some garlic. There are some sandwiches, and there is some cheese. In all these sentences, we are using the word some. You see? And to look at these sentences in more detail, some lemons, some garlic, some sandwiches, some cheese, we see that we use some with countable nouns in plural, like some sandwiches, and with uncountable noun, like some garlic. We cannot count the garlic. Okay, now I want you also, my students, to pay attention about I have got some lemons, he has got some garlic. That we use with I, you, we, they, we use the verb have got, and with he, she, it has got. So pay attention to this. And also, I want you to pay attention to these sentences. There are some sandwiches, there is some cheese. As you see, the noun here, sandwiches, is plural. It ends with is. So the verb is plural. There are. The verb is plural and the noun is plural. There is some cheese. cheese is uncountable noun and it only exists in singular. So the verb must be singular. There is. Okay, I want here just to remind you about this information. Now, what about any? When do we use any? We use any for negative sentences. Look here. They haven't got any water. She hasn't got any milk. There aren't any carrots. And there isn't any cheese. All these sentences we are using the word any, and we see here that all the sentences are negative sentences. They haven't, she hasn't, there aren't, and there isn't. Okay, finally about any, we also use any for interrogative sentences. Look here, have they got any onions? Has she got any sugar? Are there any carrots? Is there any garlic? You see, my students, all these sentences are questions, and we are using the word any in questions. Okay, so our rule for today is that we use some in positive sentences, and we use any in negative sentences and questions. Now we are going now to read our lesson. Our lesson is, as you see in the picture, we can see Omar, Layla, and their mom, and they are in the park. Actually, Layla wants to buy she wants to buy two things here. We are going to see after listening what are they. Now I'm going to tell you what are they. They are water and ice cream. Yes, and we see here that Omar is thirsty and he wants some water. They haven't got any water and they want to buy water. And we see in our lesson that they have got some sandwiches and some apples. Okay. Now we are going to move finally to some exercise about the lesson. Write some or any. ماني شايف. Write some or any. Look here, my students, we have to choose what's the correct answer, some or any. Have we got any or some lemons? Look here, it's a question, so we must use any. We've got some or any aubergines. What's the correct answer? The correct answer here is some, because it's a positive sentence. There are nuts. What's the correct answer here? It's a positive sentence. The correct answer is some. 4. We haven't got some or any. Yes, the first answer is any. The second answer is some. Third answer is some. Now, for answer, we haven't got. It's negative sentence, so we must, the right answer is any. Has she got any lamp? At the end of my lesson, I hope to Okay, now my students, we are going to repeat that we use some and any with countable nouns in the plural and with uncountable nouns. Our exercise, as we said, we choose the correct answer any because it's a question sentence. We've got some aubergines, it's a positive sentence. There are some nuts. It's positive sentence. We haven't got any garlic. It's negative sentence. there are some onions, it's positive sentence. Finally, has she got some or any lamb? The correct answer is any. Excellent. Now we choose here any because it's a question. Finally, my lesson at the end of our lesson. I hope to enjoy it and thank you very much for watching.